Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining on the journey back to Earth. My mundane name is Crystal Neumann. My Jedi name is Diamond Shank. And again, thank you all for being here because it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I assume that you could be doing something way cooler than just hanging out with me, like watching Tiger King or I don't know, something else on Netflix that's happening and stuff like that, or something else. So thank you for entertaining me by being in this conference. So again, thank you. So aside from being a Jedi, I'm a master herbalist. I do all kinds of things with plants. I'm a huge gardener, so I've got various things from herbs to vegetables. I love trees so much. I have a dwarf banana tree to cherry tree and apple tree, and I'm like the neighborhood gardener. So, anyhow, but essentially what I wanted to do for today is kind of go into the importance of plants and plant spirit, and then go into a meditation in which I'll be sharing my screen later today. But essentially, I think, so plants are more than just plants. And I think sometimes we look at them as maybe inanimate objects. So we eat them, we drink them as teas and things like that, but we have spirits within them. So not like freaky ghost spirits or anything like that, but there's a very, very spiritual relationship we have with them. And sometimes we might feel like talking to plants or maybe hugging a tree, at least I do. I mean, I think that's where the tree hugger kind of term has come into play, but these emotions and sudden needs are not something that we're making up in our minds. Nature is literally calling to us. Our ancestors definitely have this relationship, and there's just something about being in nature, whether it's going for a nature walk, sitting under a tree, tending to a garden, or harvesting herbs. There's fewer worries, and if you listen, you can hear their messages. So, like I was mentioning, our ancestors had this relationship in which many of us have forgotten to talk to plants. So we may not have a conversation like we do with other humans with verbal communication. Everything is pretty much done through our hearts, our intentions, and our energy. So what I want to mention is that each plant has its own individual personality and spirit, so just like people do. So, for example, some plants might prefer shade, others might prefer lots of water, few water, a certain pH balance, some high maintenance or low maintenance, just like people are. And I know I joked about an alien invasion earlier, but it's kind of like if an alien were to come to Earth and ask what do humans like to eat, I would say humans love chocolate. But that's just me. But I know that, like, my husband and my son, they hate it. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Or there's humans who love pasta, but then there's some who are gluten-free, and all these kinds of things. So it's kind of the same thing with plants. One plant may have one preference for something and others for another. So this is kind of where it's important to kind of think of that. And the first time that I mentioned, or that I felt a spiritual connection to plants was when I was out in the garden and I was supposed to do a kind of a house cleansing or spiritual cleansing for someone's home. And I kept thinking about, well, what herb other than like the typical sage can I bring to this person? And out of nowhere, I heard basil. And I thought, what? This doesn't make any sense because this is something you put in pizza. So I thought, this is strange. But once I did the research and really looked into it, I found that basil had been used for by other cultures and centuries ago for spiritual cleansing, and it is considered to be one of the most holy herbs. And I thought, holy cow! So I was so geeking out, like, as a herbal nerd. And I thought, oh, there's something to this. So the purpose of this presentation is to help unlock that language and help to get you guys back to Earth and understanding the real connection between humans and plants. So we give each other our own breath. So humans need oxygen, and plants require carbon dioxide, which symbolizes our necessary relationship with each other. So we need plants for different kinds of things as well, through like nutrition and medicine. And many medications are actually synthesized versions of plants, and that's something that I presented on a couple of years ago in Illinois, just kind of some herbal medicine stuff. But so not only do we have a physical need for plants, but also emotionally as well, because they do make us happy. So plants, flowers, trees, herbs, all of that, nature makes us feel happier and connected to others. So, and there's been lots of different research that have shown that we're not only in a better mood when plants are around, but we're also more productive. And also, that's why they're also doing a lot more of the nature-based therapies as well. And there's another study that came with the University of Rochester that showed that they had this study that the more that you're around plants, you're more so inspired to be compassionate and generous and have that sense of community. So why not be around nature, essentially? Also, shamans feel that we're experiencing kind of a spiritual illness, that we might be experiencing kind of a soul loss. So we're doing a lot more of this and grabbing our phones and stuff and looking down versus just enjoying what's around us. I shouldn't be preaching this, but I know that we also eat a lot of processed foods. So essentially we do need to get back to nature. So it seems to be kind of an increasing epidemic, but that doesn't mean that we can't do anything about it. So it's important to pay attention to the plants which grow nearby, that grow out of nowhere, just to offer our intentions, love, and respect. So now the next thing I want to get into is plant consciousness. So now this is where I'm going to ask you to kind of get off of lecture mode, or you can unmute yourself, but let's pretend we're back in like 5th grade again. What are some of the 5 senses? Does anybody remember?
Right, there are about 7 senses.
Sight.
Mm-hmm.
Sound.
Smell, taste.
Smell, taste.
Smell.
Hear, listen, audio.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is.
Yeah, listening. All right. Yay, you guys like past 5th grade. All right. Awesome. So, but Jedi doesn't know these things. We're really smart. So yeah, so let's go first with sight. So in terms of plant consciousness, when plants grow, like my plants over here, they grow towards the direction of light. So they may not have eyes like humans do, but even if you were to conduct an experiment and then turn the plants around, they're going to go bend back towards the light. And there is such a thing as color blindness, which is why for my grow lights, I have both the red lights and the blue lights, and there's different types of red and blue lights. But in any event, that's kind of getting very sciencey. So there's sight. So another one that we can go ahead and just jump right into is touch. So raise your hands if you've heard of the Venus flytrap. Yay! Okay. All right. So what happens when a fly lands on the Venus flytrap? That's right. It'll close, and that's how they eat, which is a really cool plant. Anyway, So there's also plants called the mimosa, and not the drink mimosa, that once you touch it, it starts to close up as well, or it's kind of a defense mechanism. So moving on, let's get into taste. So plants don't have like taste buds in the natural sense that like humans do, but scientists have found that the leaf pores have something pretty similar that kind of like our human tongue receptors are. So when a caterpillar is eating a leaf, that plant can translate the information from it can transform the information from the caterpillar saliva, in which then the chemicals are released to attract a wasp to eat it. Isn't that really interesting? I'm sorry, I'm really nerding out. I'm really interested in all this stuff. So then the wasp will eat the caterpillar, and it's the circle of life. Anyhow, so the plant protects itself from being completely eaten up. All right, let's go into smells. All right, pheromones. Raise your hand if you've heard of them. We usually think about it in like a sexy mode, but this is not what this is about. So plants can react to pheromones and chemical emissions. So for example, try an experiment at home on your own time with bananas. So put one ripe banana next to non-ripe bananas and see what happens. So essentially, the banana will, or the non-ripe bananas will hurry up the process because they've gotten this kind of message that says you're kind of delayed on your life cycle. So, like humans, pheromones trigger a social response from something else, and this is how plants communicate with each other. Hearing is the next one. So this part might be a little bit more difficult to prove because we've not really exactly determined things like on whether plants enjoy country music versus Elvis versus the Black Eyed Peas. We might have our own kind of theories, but essentially what we can prove is that when there is music, plants grow faster. And the theory is that it's kind of replicating when bees buzz. So when bees buzz, they release vibrations, and then within those vibrations, the pollen is released. So another kind of geek fact for the day. Another kind of thing with the hearing is that plants also have cells that are kind of mimicking the hairs in our human inner ear. So we see them on plants as root hair, but in this instance, the root hair is much like communication systems that gain information about the soil nutrients and the water. And so, for example, if an area is experiencing a drought, and like that osmosis piece, the root system is kind of communicating with the others, giving it a heads up. So then the plants actually are preparing themselves for the drought, which is really interesting. So the final kind of thing that I want to talk about is talk. And so it's time to come to this realization that if they can do all these things, see, hear, all those kind of senses that humans can, why can't they have a consciousness? But with the talking, there was a professor, and I can't remember what his name was, but essentially he found that bumblebees and flowers communicate through electrical fields. So he placed electrodes inside the stems of petunias, and the professor determined that each flower's electrical charge changed after a bee had visited. So essentially flowers are emitting these different electrical impulses when they're full of nectar and pollen, and versus when none are left. So that's kind of another interesting thing. So when we think about the science of it, because I'm one of those people that, yes, I'm pretty spiritual, but I have to see the facts behind it. Just kind of makes more sense. And then when you think about things from a spiritual sense and plant spirits, think about your relationships with plants or communicating with them. So have you been drawn to any particular plants or flower, or are you drawn to carnations versus tulips? Do you have a favorite kind of tree? Are there plants that you dream about, or anything, or any types of plants that interest you? Alternatively, do you have it where you just give someone certain plants as gifts? So plants, again, mean different things. So, for example, if you were to give a rose to someone who just got a job offer, would it feel differently if you went on a date? Or would you give them bamboo if they moved into a new house versus something else? So, I mean, they have their different kinds of symbolism. So I'm going to take it off of lecture mode. Now you don't have to shut up anymore. All right. Anybody want to share their own kind of thoughts or anything like that on their relationships with plants and whatnot, or or are there anything, any types of things that kind of speak to you more than others?
I like oak trees. I go on hikes all the time, and I can notice that there's a difference between one forest and another, different mountains, meadow versus mountain, a river, valley versus a mountain, desert versus a mountain. I've done a lot of mountain climbing lately, so yeah, there's definitely a feel between the two, well, the different hikes I've been on.
No, it's good. Man.
I like it because you can feel the differences. So I think also with different plants, you feel whether some are peppy versus snarky. But that might just be my own kind of thing as well. So anyone else want to quickly share? Thank you for sharing your kinds of thoughts. So again, mirroring science with kind of feelings and emotions, they can talk to us. They have something to say. They have something to share with us. So you can call them plant teachers or even plant allies. Doesn't really matter what you call them as long as it's not like a bad name or anything, but essentially they have something to teach us, and they taught our ancestors various things. So for example, there's stories that go that with shamans, in order to cure someone of their ailments, they would just kind of meditate and wait for an herb or another plant to kind of raise their hand and say, yes, use me, I can help with this illness, or I can help with this kind of ailment. And that's how they listened to our plant friends and whatnot. So it's something that takes time, I would say. I think it's just like speaking a different language or learning a different language. You don't learn Spanish in one day. If you do, you need to teach me your secret, or you know, just kinds of things like that. Or even, I think when it comes to learning your own native language, you're still learning maybe new words, new vocabulary every day. So I think this is where it's really important to realize that if I don't understand this plant, don't give up just because you didn't quite understand. And it's just like with friends, there's misunderstandings all the time. So what I would like to do now is go ahead and share a guided meditation. So we're going to get into it. All right, so I'm going to get a video here because I did a whole recording and everything.
Separate your hands and feet and put your back into a comfortable position that it can stay in for a long period of time. Close your eyes and allow yourself to imagine that you're in a green forest filled with trees, fragrant grass, soft soil, and fresh flowers. This is a beautiful forest on a peaceful and sunny day. You can smell the earthy soil and the damp, tree bark. Imagine the sun has made an intricate pattern of warm, golden sunlight coming through the canopy of trees and coming down through to the forest ground. The sunlight is beaming upon your face and warming your skin. The warming sensation makes you feel safe, comfortable, and relaxed. There is a warm, gentle breeze as you inhale the fresh, clean air. As you exhale, you are able to relax more deeply to the sound of the gentle wind rustling against the leaves and watching the tree branches sway with the wind. With each breath you take in through your nose, you are bringing into the life-giving breath of nature. You're filling your body with love and healing energy. And as you slowly exhale through your mouth, you're releasing any tension, anger, any pain that you've been holding on to. As you walk barefoot, the sun is shining overhead, and the warm grass under your feet gently massages your toes as you walk along. You feel the warmth of the sun shining down on you, bringing glorious rays of healing energy onto and in your body. Birds and their songs can be heard in the trees and shrubs all around. The flowers, which contain every color of the rainbow, play host to the butterflies and bumblebees. Each breath you take in fills your lungs with a perfume created by the hand of Mother Nature. As the sense of the flowers fills your lungs, it awakens and stimulates your senses. With each breath you take, you are releasing all the stress and tension. You feel your body relaxing more and more with each breath. And as you become more one with nature, the more relaxed you become. Allow the sunlight to flow through you, relaxing every muscle fiber, cell, and tissue. As it flows through you from head to toe, allow it to completely relax each muscle group. As it begins to flow through the forehead, muscles behind the eyes simply unravel and the eyes get heavier. The sunlight automatically continues to flow down over the temples and through the front of the neck, and at the same time down the back of the head, neck, and shoulders. Allow gravity to pull the shoulders down to their natural position. You are comfortably relaxing, and it is so peaceful that you continue feeling more relaxed than ever before in your life. As you continue enjoying this peaceful, pleasant experience, a soothing drowsiness is coming over your whole body, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You continue feeling calmer, more relaxed, and more secure. And the mind simply unwinds like a big spring, letting go. As the sun rises on one side of the earth and sets on the other, each day is similar to the next with common themes. Each day has learning lessons of its own, regardless of the ups and downs, moods, stresses, has nothing to do with this. This is just pure, simple relaxation. All fears, guilts, and self-blame are released. Problems, pressures, and stresses built up through time are useless and unnecessary. Allow the sunlight and peacefulness of the nature flow through the elbows, wrists, and out the fingers. You may notice a tingling sensation in the hands, which further shows you're beginning to relax as the bodily functions are slowing down. The breathing becomes a shade deeper with each more relaxing breath. Feel the body rest more firmly. As the sunlight flows down through the back, all the muscles and tendons wrapped around the vertebrae unwind, and the back settles into its natural position automatically. The light flows through the waist, knees, ankles, and through the toes, pushing out all the stress, concerns, and worries in the form of tension or tightness, which may have been locked up in the body and are useless to us now. Feel the nerves dimming, and with each beat of the heart, that you're naturally more relaxed this way. Allow yourself to go deeper into relaxation. Feel all the muscles and tendons droop and hang on the bone structure, loose and limp. Any noise from outside of my voice or outside of this room will only make you go into deeper in relaxation. Now, as you walk along the grass, in the distance, you see a solitary oak tree, standing as tall as the white, fluffy clouds overhead. You walk toward it. The closer and closer you get, you realize this is a tree which has seen over 300 summers. Your hands touch the weathered bark that runs from the base to the top of the tree, and you feel that you're in the presence of a wise teacher who is happy to see the return of its favorite student. Your bare feet lie standing on a thick root system, which brings life force energy to all parts of this wise teacher. And the roots feel soothing to the touch. As you gaze upwards toward the top of the tree, you are intuitively drawn to put your arms around it. You feel instant comfort and support, almost like you're receiving a loving hug from your best friend who has just returned from a long trip away. As you continue to hug the tree, you close your eyes and feel comforting warmth rise over your body. You feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, and you know that you're with a friend and protector, and you feel at one. You feel at home. You don't want to release your arms because of the love and peace you feel, which vibrates in every part of your body. You feel connected with all the beauty and nature around you. Now, you feel the tree telling you to open your eyes. As you release your embrace and take a step back, you notice a doorway through the tree. You know it's time to walk through the door and deeper through the passage. Really notice that it's about you and it's all for you. The smells and sounds and colors. And soon you come to a clearing. In the center, you look closer. You see a figure. You begin to make out a bit more than just an outline, and the details become more specific. As you walk closer, a flash of inspiration courses through your mind as you realize this is your plant teacher, someone who looks after you and cares for you deeply. You feel a sense of safety, protection, love, care, and warmth. My voice will now become distant as I give you both some privacy to honor each other and to receive a message. At this point, I ask that you thank your plant teacher. Properly welcome them into your life. Hug them, embrace them, and allow them to share their wisdom and strengths with you. Give them permission to share this journey you have embarked upon. You must now go back through the passage, through the door of the tree. You feel at ease and relaxed, knowing that you have someone who is watching you and guiding you back toward understanding Mother Nature. As you step out of the tree, you notice the soft breeze upon your face. You look up and notice a small container dropping from the tree, much like an acorn would. You know this is a gift for you from your plant teacher. You may look down and pick it up, knowing this is yours and feeling thankful for the journey. Now, I'm going to count back from 5 to 1. And when I reach the number 1, you can then come back completely into your body and normalize. 5. You'll remember everything you've experienced. 4. Bringing back all the memories and messages from your plant teacher. 3. More in touch with the room around you. 2. The mind and body are returning back toward normal. 'When you imagine the number 1 in your mind's eye within the next minute, you'll become wide awake, refreshed, relaxed, and feeling good.
All right, is everybody back? All right, so that was the meditation on getting you to meet with your plant teachers. So in addition to being a master herbalist, I am also a hypnotherapist. So that was my recording, and I know that once we get, I'll go ahead and get the lecture and the video portion. That was loud. But in any event, I just want to see if anyone wants to share what their experience was with this meditation. All right. So again, thanks everybody for joining in my lecture about plant spirits and plant teachers and allies. And thanks for also listening in on the meditation. The recording will go out to you. And again, it really means a lot to me that you showed up because, like I said earlier, you guys could be doing really cool things from watching Netflix to going to a bonfire or going out for your own walk. But you showed up here, so thank you so much.